Hi guys, welcome back to Bunny Brick Designs. So I'm just in the Christmas spirit. So as of the recording of this video on Sunday, on Sunday, I adopted Velvet, and so going along with the Christmas theme. In the last video, we did a red, green, and copper Christmas bracelet. So I'm going to be making another bracelet, but I'm going to be using some seed beads and doing some bead weaving and using some of these beautiful cabochons that I have, these faceted cabochons. And these are 13 by 18 millimeter glass cabochons. And I have some in red. I've got to find my green super duos because I have some, because I was doing some here in purple and green. So you're going to need 16 super duos. And these are Metal Lust Lipstick Red. And this is an emerald cabochon. And then I have gold 11O beads and gold 8O seed beads in yellow gold. This one is a muted like rose gold. So you can use any color gold you want, or you can use any color beads that you want. But for this, I'm going to be making several of these, and I was debating whether I wanted to alternate between red and green. So putting a red cabochon in here, and then doing red, green, or doing one bracelet all in red, or, one bracelet all in green. I haven't decided. So I'm going to show you in this video how to bezel the cabochon and get it so that, you can use this as an earring. So I could take this and put something on there as an earring, put a drop down here as an earring. So I could do many different things with this now that it's bezeled. So I'm going to show you how to get started, and you're going to need, if I can find my beading needle, you're going to need at least a wingspan of beading thread. Now, if you're using regular beading thread, I'm going to suggest you go through your beads several times. I'm using Wildfire from Beadalon, 0.006 inches or 0.15 millimeter in white, and I'm using a size 12 beading needle. And so I don't necessarily have to go through these multiple times, just because my the Wildfire tends to be really strong. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up 16 of your super duos, doing 2 super duos and 1 11O, 2 super duos and 1 11O. And now you're going to do that until you have 16 super duos on your thread. Now, make sure when you are doing these, I always like to go back through and make sure that I can get my needle through my holes. You really wouldn't want to start this and then get to the second ring and go, oh, now I can't complete this because I've got a blocked hole. So anyways, just check them. You can check them all before if you want, which is what I do usually off camera. But yeah, you definitely want to check them. So that's 6. There is 8. And see, like my seed bead that seed bead doesn't want to go on. So I'll usually just set those aside. Because sometimes the 11Os and 15Os aren't the right size. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. If I can get that. There's 10. That's 12. Right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And 16. And that seed bead didn't want to go on. All right, let's try this again. So that's 16. And we're going to end with a gold seed bead because we want gold seed beads in between our sets of 2. So now we've got our set of 2. And I am going to, so you can either go back through and make a loop, or you can just tie it. I am just going to tie it. And I'm going to do a tie there. And then I'm going to do a quick surgeon's knot. And then I'm going to take my beading needle. So I'm going to cut off the thread because I don't need that anymore. And while you have a little tail, the easiest way to hide that now is to go back through a couple of beads. And I know there's a knot in the way, so you're going to have to be very careful to find and get back in the hole. And then what you're just going to do is once you've gotten your thread through, you're just going to pull, and I'm going to go back through a couple more beads and pull so I can basically pull it into and if you have, yeah, see, there it goes. I was going to say, if you have a hard time getting these, and see, that's not going in. Just because that surgeon's knot, sometimes the surgeon's knot doesn't want to go in. You can kind of give it a little push with the needle. There we go. There we go. I felt it, and you'll feel it go when it goes into it. And we're not necessarily going to have to go back through these. I'm going to go through a few more of these just to give it a little more stability. And if you have to, use a pair of nylon pliers to pull your thread through. All right, so now that we've gotten that done, you definitely want to start out, you want to come out on right between a gold bead and your super doer, and we're going to go back in the opposite direction through the top hole, and you won't see that. And so when I have the super duos side by side, I'm going to pick up an 8/0 and go through the top of the other one. So we have a big bead in between and then an 11/0. So now I'm going to alternate 8/0, 11/0, 8/0, 11/0. And so we're going to do this all the way around. And don't worry if it's loose at the moment. It'll tighten up as you go, especially with the fire line. And again, you can do this with any color seed beads, any color super duos, and any color cabochons. If you wanted to do it with a round one, as long as it was similar in size, you could definitely do that. you know, or if you wanted to go with a bigger cabochon, you're going to have to alter the number of super duos. You know, and I can show you how to do that in another video if you'd like. But I just thought this would be fun. I haven't done bead weaving in a while, so I thought I would do some here for you while I'm waiting for my bead boxes to come in, because they should be here. And I have been working off camera on the GGC's box, but I've got some patterns. I've been working on some shibori, but I'm there. All the beads are of similar size, so I'm having a hard time with designs. All right, and so now I went through 2 on that last one just because I wanted to come out on a 8/0 bead. So now this is, as you can see, this is this part of it where we have these alternating beads at the top, and that is going to be your, and I've got a thread there that's got to come out. So you've got your design, and this is what's going to happen is you're going to set this in here and we're going to bead around it. But we're going to get this back part started because otherwise it's not going to hold the cabochon in. So the next step is to take 5 11/0s and go through the next 8/0 bead. So there's 4, there's 5. And now I'm just going to skip over this 11/0 and go through the top on this 8/0. And I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are stuck on that one. No, we're stuck on that one. And this is the thing, make sure your beads go over your beading needle, because if you have a hard time, you're going to have a hard time going back through them. So sometimes I have to do this and put them on one at a time with the 11/0s. Let me get these guys out of the way. So yeah, so I've had times where I can get the beading needle through once, but then on the second pass, when I have to go back through it, it's so small that I can't get the needle through. So just be careful. So I've got 3 there, 4, 5. And so it's going to start to look like a little flower, which is really kind of pretty. And I've thought about doing some kind of a design where I take and do this and put like a big pearl or something in there and make a flower design. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm debating whether I want to turn these into earrings or make a bracelet or a necklace, or both. Or all 3, I should say, not just both. And that bead, again, I'm probably needing to get some more beads. That's 5. And I need 2 more sets. There's 5 more, and we need 5 more. And I'm going to get some more beads out just because some of these look pretty misshapen. And it's just easier if I have a lot of beads. Because usually you can look at them and you can see the big holes. But, all right, so those went on fairly easy. All right, and so now I am back to my last one. I'm going to go back through my 8-0. And then I am going to go up through 3 of the 11-0s and come out the top or the middle 11-0 there. So I'm coming out this, so there's one, oops, you can't see that. Sorry if you're off camera. Here, let me do this. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I'm coming out the top there. And so now what I need to do is I need to start shrinking this up. So in order for me to shrink this up, I'm going to go from the middle bead on this 5th one to the middle bead on this 5th one. But if I were to do 5, it wouldn't shrink it up. So I'm only going to do 3. So we're going to take 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to come into the top one of this 8-0 there. Or 11-0, I'm sorry. And as you can see, it's going to start shrinking it up a little bit. And that's what we want. Now, it's not going to be a ton yet. Not until we get some more beads on. So, again, don't pull it tight just yet, because after this round, we'll cinch it up. And we will make sure that the cabochons fit in nicely, and then we will finish it up. So really, there's not a whole lot. As you can see, there's not a whole lot. It's starting to form a cup. But there's really not a whole lot to doing this technique. The super duos make it super easy. And so, yeah. So it's a fairly easy technique. So if you're new to beading or you're not very good at seed beads, this is a great way to use cabochons, focals, crystals, beads that don't have any holes, anything that you want, you can do this way. All right, and we're going through, and I've got a couple more. And as you can see, it's starting to form a really nice, and yes, as you can see, the bead, you can still see the threads because we haven't cinched it up yet, and that's fine. I don't want to cinch it just yet because I don't have my crystal in my. And I know that's not called a cabochon. I know it's called something else. But the word's escaping me right at the moment. Chaton, Rivoli, whatever it's called. All right. And so we've got one more. And we are going to go back into our original starting 11-0 there. And this is why I say you need to make sure that you can get your needle through several times without breaking your seed bead. And so that was kind of stiff, but again, I don't need to go back through that bead again. So now I'm just going to start to tighten it up. I am going to place my chaton, Rivoli, crystal, pendant, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to start tightening this up. Now, keep in mind, this looks like it's not going to work, and you're looking at it going, it's so big in there, it's not tight. Trust me, it will be. The next round is going to tighten that all up. So now we have 1, 2, 3 in between, here, and we're going to go into that and come out that middle bead. So that second bead, we're going to come out the side of it. I am then going to pick up 2 11-0s and go back into, so there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go into that middle bead. So bead number 2. And I'm going to come out the other side. And then that's going to start to tighten it up. And now we're going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, skip, and that one's got 4. That's why. So if you do end up having that happen, it's really easy. Just take your needle off. We'll just undo that. I'm going to pause you. I'm going to fix that, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back up to starting my last round again. So I took it out to the to where I had 4 beads. That's also probably why it was a little loose. All right, so now I'm going to go into and back to doing my 2. So this is going to be set 1. And you'll notice you can see some white thread. And really, this is why I like the wildfires, because you can really give that a good tug and you'll pull all of that thread so you can't see it. And that's why I don't go around twice, because you'd have to keep tugging. And I like to do it all at the end to make sure everything cinches up really nice before I knot. All right, and there is our second set of 2. And we're going to do another 2 beads. That's what I get for talking and counting at the same time. And as you can see, it's forming a nice bezel around the back so that the cabochon won't fall out. It's definitely going to be in there really securely. And so I'm just going around. And now you could keep going around until, you know, you run out of space on the back. So if you wanted to, after this round, you could fill in with an additional, you know, round of maybe 1 seed bead, you know, so you're coming out of this one, maybe do 3 seed beads and go from this one to this one, 3 seed beads from this one to this one. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. But you really don't need to. So I am actually back to where I started. So am I done? No, I have to go back through there. I've got 1 more set. And I'm going back through this middle one here. Now, if you've pulled this tight like I have, getting your needle into that is going to be a little bit difficult to go back through there, which is fine. But now that I've gotten that in, I've gotten my 2 beads, and I think I just broke one. Yep, I just broke one. That's why there's only 1 there. I felt a break under my thumb. All right. And that bead is tight. So if you break a bead, like I just did, it's best to just unthread your needle if you don't knot it like I'm about to do. Unthread your needle, pull it out, put a new bead on, and just try not to break a bead on a row below, because you will have to pull out the entire row below. And when you're knotting, oh, did that go in? That did not go in. All right, I need to put the, time to put the 400 magnification on. So much easier to see the hole at that magnification. All right, now back to the regularly scheduled glasses. All right, so I've got one bead there. I need one more bead. Hopefully this one doesn't break. Yeah, see that? All right, there we go. And back through. My middle bead. And that middle bead is tight. All right, there we go. Now, you're just going to pull, give it a good tug, and pull it tight. And then you can opt to just do a knot here and cut it off. Or like I like to do is I will do a knot. I'll do one. Oops. If I don't get my finger in it. I will do one knot. So I just take a knot and it's just a simple over knot, and then I'm going to go through, probably not that bead because that one was tight. And you don't have to stay in the same round or the same row. I usually like to go back through to some of these other beads here and do a knot and do a couple of knots. Making sure you get it in between the two beads that you came out of so that nobody sees the thread. And then I'm going to come up here maybe. And I am going to go through the 8/0, go back down through this one. So I did 2 knots. I think that's good. And I'm just going to come and, little trick is if you're, if you want to get a nice close cut on that, they have little bead burner, like, and I don't know if I have it. I don't have one out at the moment, but they just singe off the thread. Or you can just do like I did and just cut it really close. And there you go. So now I have 2, and you can adjust them a little bit and make it so, you know, you can pick where, you know, which spot you want your 8/0s on, just a little bit. Now keep in mind, don't mess with it too much because you will loosen it up. And so now we can decide whether we want to put these this way, the tall way, or if we want to turn them on their sides and do it that way, or do one, you know. So I'm gonna make some more of these off camera, and then we'll get back together in another video and we'll make some jewelry out of that. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully by the time I do the next video, we will have some of the bargain bead boxes and curated bead boxes in. I'm looking forward to this month's box. I'm hoping it's more Christmas stuff, but we'll see. Anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comments, and if you have any questions, also let me know. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.